Hey, so I'm here with the creator of HAPI FHIR and SmileCDR,
Hello.
James. So, James, who is your FHIR server for?
So we have a number of customer types, I suppose we'll say. I mean, Happy, I will start off by saying we created as one of the initial reference implementations. We are, as far as I know, the most widely used reference implementation, and certainly that means, everything from people who are trying to learn Fire and just need a server they can play against so that they can, so that they can start testing out the concepts for themselves, up to people who are, maybe getting a startup off the ground and want to start doing some prototyping, up to people who are building production grade systems, up to national governments, multinational projects. I mean, we've seen everything along that spectrum being used. I would say on our commercial side, our customers tend to skew pretty heavily towards the payer industry, the health information exchange industry, and certainly a lot of medtech as well. Sort of people who are building products and want sort of healthcare data storage and interoperability functions as a part of what they're doing. That I know that's a broad answer, but that's sort of that's the spectrum of folks we work with.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think HAPI FHIR is one of the most starred open source projects in the health tech space.
Sure.
And for people who are using HAPI FHIR, let's say they have an open source version of it and they already kind of are like, I kind of get what this is. Why should they contact SmileCDR?
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of reasons. Some people just, want a plain support contract. They want, a number to call if they've got questions where it's guaranteed they're going to get an answer. I mean, we, of course, do our best to answer community questions. We have people that start every single day going through questions online and doing their best to answer them. But, of course, as with all open source, there's no guarantee of support unless you've got a support contract. So that certainly is a big one. Influence of the roadmap would be another reason. Certainly, we've got people doing that. But I think far more important than the basics are just the fact that we continue to provide solutions on top of the commercial platform. I mean, HAPI FHIR is, of course, a software library. It's a thing that you, as a developer, can build solutions with. Smile, we've really tried to be much more of a complete solution in a box. If you're looking for a payer compliance platform, a prior authorization platform, the foundation for building an EHR. I mean, those would be examples of the types of customers that we tend to work with that are, looking for the bigger package and not just the software library as a part of it.
Excellent. So that you mentioned it, you're talking about a foundation for building an EHR.
Sure.
Do you think FHIR servers and FHIR APIs will, in the future, eventually replace how EHRs are built from the scratch?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, will they replace? I mean, I don't think that, today's EHR crop are ever going to go away. So, I think my answer would be much more like, people often say, is FHIR going to replace HL7 version 2?
Yeah.
And I mean, my answer to that is categorically not. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen 30 years from now, but let's say in the next decade, I don't see V2 going away.
Okay.
But I do see FHIR solving the same problems in a better way. And I think people who are starting from scratch, they're probably going to pick a better foundation for whatever problems they're going to solve. I say that as kind of I think a good analog to the question you're asking. If I have an existing EHR and it's solving problems, would I completely rewrite the thing using FHIR? I mean, if I was an EHR vendor, I probably wouldn't do that. But if I'm trying to build a brand new EHR from the ground up today, I would give a really serious look at FHIR. And certainly, I mean, we know that there are people doing exactly that today. I'm aware of a number of EHR efforts today on top of HAPI FHIR. We have some Smile customers who are doing exactly the same. I know of a number of EHRs, certainly around the world, actually, that are being written on a number of the other sort of big FHIR platforms that are out there. So it is a thing that I know lots of people feel is a good architecture. I am absolutely one of them. I love the concept of sort of separating the idea of your business layer, the sort of foundation where data is stored, where data is reasoned on, where data is analyzed, all of that, from the individual presentation layers that are required by the different types of people who use that. I mean, having this common layer that powers, the specialty clinic's view, the person who does medical, scheduling, their view, the flow coordinators in a hospital, the patient themselves, the patient with a specific chronic condition. I mean, every one of those examples calls for a very different type of UI. And, while a monolithic vendor might provide a pretty good solution to all of those problems, we know in technology there's always someone who can provide a better solution to that problem. That's always going to happen. And if you've got a platform that enables that, I mean, that's a good thing.
Of course, I mean, that gets at the heart of the problem, which is like you need different apps to do different things. And so speaking of these apps and the platform for these apps, what do you think is unique about HAPI FHIR or SmileCDR, which let's say the other FHIR servers don't provide today?
Sure. I guess I would say, to me, the biggest thing is just the completeness and the breadth of the solution. We are an open source core that absolutely can be embedded into products. We're Apache 2 licensed, so certainly, there's no restrictions there. We provide a commercial offering on top of it that, absolutely is an upgrade path, absolutely uses that same internal core. We're executable on absolutely any platform. We've got people that do everything from deployment on Raspberry Pi devices up to on-prem data centers, up to every single cloud. So there's no lock-in and lots of ability to move between deployment options. Beyond that as well, certainly just our commitment to providing support for every one of the many, many follow-on technologies that are coming along through the standards community. Things like we've got support for CDS hooks, we've got support for CQL, we've got support for the bulk data access, bulk import, bulk export. That list just goes on and on and on. I mean, if there's a FHIR community working on it, we've probably either already got support or at least have a roadmap to get support in. And we've tried really hard to be sort of the solution that provides, a solution to every one of those, every one of those problems.
Excellent answer. So, any implementations that you want to talk about that you think are mentionable with SmileCDR?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing that I'm personally most excited about, I'll say two. One that is not an implementation, more a project, but I'm just really excited about the International Patient Summary. It's a personal passion project of mine. I feel strongly that, we've spent all of this time getting FHIR as a technology adopted, and we've solved a bunch of individual problems, but I think the real value comes when we start to see that network effect. Coming back to your question about building EHR as a foundation, like once you've got the platform there, you can start taking advantage of it for new use cases. And one that to me personally is really interesting is automatically generating international patient summary documents using data that you've already got in FHIR format to enable people to get better care in those unplanned care scenarios. I mean, we're both sitting in a place where neither of us live, and of course, if either of us were to need medical service, I mean, I don't know about you, I know that there's no electronic access that a doctor here would have access to my information. You're probably the same.
Yep.
Hopefully tomorrow that'll be a different story as something like IPS comes available.
Using IPS? Yeah,
exactly.
That's one.
The other thing I'd mention that I'm personally excited about is, we're in the middle of a great big modernization of the health information exchange in our home province of Ontario, Canada. Our mission right now is to build a FHIR native, FHIR first, complete health information exchange that will cover every clinical relevant bit of data that we can get our hands on and make it available to the people that need it for better care. Very much related because, of course, once you've done that, you've solved the basic interoperability challenge of getting data, ultimately from the hands of where it was produced to some other clinician that might make better use of it. And that's an important use case. But the bigger use case is, now that we've got it in FHIR, let's take advantage of all these other technologies. Let's use CQL to do care gaps analysis. Let's generate IPS for our citizens that are traveling. And I mean, that list goes on and on.
Excellent. So a data repository of sorts for all of Ontario.
Exactly.
Excellent. So speaking of this, again, it may be a bit controversial here in a FHIR conference, but I think the same ideas and principles are what another standard, openEHR, is also built on. So when you started going with FHIR and when you started building all of these tooling for FHIR, I'm pretty sure there was no one else before you who's done that. Did you also consider openEHR as another standard that could possibly solve these same problems? And what was your thoughts?
Sure. So, I will be totally honest. I'm only recently learning about openEHR. Okay. It's newer in my world. So I will say, I mean, truthfully, I didn't consider it in the early days. I am absolutely fascinated by it. I mean, a thing that I've I've been involved in tech for a long time. I'm sure you have too. And I think a trap that we fall into is thinking that there is a single technology, a single library, a single piece of software that's going to solve every problem, and that everything else other than that is terrible. I mean, it's human nature, I suppose, to fall into that trap. And I'm trying really hard not to. I mean, to me, openEHR, like I recognize absolutely the value of those archetypes, the rich data models, the incredible collaboration that's gone on in building them and all of that. I don't know what the answer is in terms of how do we make those two technologies work together. And we've seen recent announcements from both of those communities that we're going to start thinking about that. The thing that's really obvious to me is that there's a fit for both of them in the broader world. I mean, as I say, I don't know what that fit is yet, but I'm really excited to see how it develops.
Yeah, let's see how it develops. And any other comments you have for the community in general on anything that they should be doing?
Well, I mean, the one thing I always have to pitch is we'd love to have you in the HAPI FHIR community. If you're a software developer, we love external contributors. We love people that want, even people who want to file bugs or ask questions. We love to talk. So join the HAPI FHIR community.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the description down below. Check it out. This is James Agnew from SmileCDR.
There we go. Thank you.